against World Elite on the Dire. Now this is the first game for World Elite that we've casted. They are replacing GOG in this tournament, so they're replaying a few matches. And right now, though, we've got the first ban here, Brewmaster, getting picked off by inv-red. No real surprise there, along with Darkseer, another very popular ban, just because he's so damn good at the push, as well as just he's annoying to push against as well, and such a strong suicide laner as well. Just can drop down those iron shells and remote farm away with them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a hero which almost always being picked up, although we didn't see him in that last game with Mith.trust actually getting banned in the second ban stage, but definitely these Chinese teams have been picking up Darkseer quite a lot. And we're going to see the winner as well as the Brewmaster ban. This is, I like seeing the winner on a ban. We've seen a lot of it in play, and I think it's a hero that is definitely worth banging up just because of how versatile it is. And it's going to force some of these teams to go with a few different options, and especially with inv-red having the first pick, that means some of these big heroes like the Prophet, like Chen, may be left in the pool.
Yeah, we see the Lycan getting picked up as well. I mean, Windrunner is a pretty common first pick if you've got the first pick, just because it allows you just really not just grab a hero and then not have to tip your hand, just because you're so flexible. She can do just about anything you want. But in this case, they decided, you know what, we're not going to use her. Let's get rid of her. And DK getting banned. Now, he has, I mean, he gets picked up by the Chinese. I mean, we've seen the Chinese teams use him, as particularly the team DK actually use him a fair bit as well. But I'm not, I mean, he's been pretty strong, but definitely a bit ballsy banning him there, deciding, you know what, we don't want to deal with him.
I quite like it. I definitely like, especially when they've got the first pick. They don't have to worry about World Elite picking up some crazy hero with their first pick. They have complete control when they have the first pick. They know what they can first pick. They know what's going to be left over as well. There's nothing really left to chance. I mean, as far as, I mean, obviously there's many different options that WE can pick up with these next two picks, but I think banning out a hero like DK, who can often get picked up in that third slot for World Elite, could be a smart decision. And it's a hero that's caused a lot of problems for a lot of teams. I think that, I mean, I don't know about his win rate, but I think almost every time we've seen DK in the hands of these Chinese teams, it has been on the winning side.
Yeah, this has been the case. He's just been really, really strong and really aggressive during, particularly just with that. With the corrosion on the towers, you leave DK alone with the tower for a little while, he will bust it down really quickly. Leshrac, though, being picked up along with the Invoker. Now, Leshrac gets used in a few different roles, does get played as support. I don't like it particularly a lot, but it does work. It does work at a pinch. Invoker, though, a great pickup, I think. Really versatile. They could do just about anything they really feel like with him, either just to hold off the pushes with the really, or even just, you know, help out with the pushes. You can either go with the really big spammy AoEs, or you can pop out those Forge Elementals and start busting down towers. And of course, Cold Snap is so damn nice for locking down heroes that are generally pretty slippery as well. Heroes like Nature's Prophet, who are annoying and can slip away if you're not careful. Cold Snap, I just love that spell. It's so powerful. Shadow Demon, though, the next pick, along with the Queen of Boobs getting grabbed up as well. So we've got lots of AoE. We've got some AoE nuke on inv-red's side, and along, well, I think they've got a pretty decent support in the form of Shadow Demon as well. We saw him used really well during that last match that we casted.
Yeah, it's one of those heroes when used defensively could be very good at keeping heroes alive. And I mean, when WE have this, what looks to be a fairly strong mid-game lineup with the Invoker Leshrac, we'll see what they want to pick up third. This is one of those lineups where a DK as World Elite's third pick would have fit in perfectly with the kind of strat they want to do with this mid-game pressure. So I think this is where that DK ban could really help out inv-red a lot, because if World Elite had picked it up third, it could have caused a lot of problems. So I like the DK ban here. You can see where they were coming from. And the Shadow Demon, the Queen of Pain picks, definitely two heroes that can offer a lot in the mid-game. And the Prophet, I mean, there's some nice synergy there. They've got some great mobility around the map, some great ganking. And Prophet, I mean, I think it's quite likely inv-red won't even go for any sort of hard carry. The Prophet, Queen of Pain offer enough late-game potential that these teams are going to keep playing this sort of metagame we've seen a bit, where they just go for these mid-game presence heroes, and just their late-game carries end up being these sort of semi-carry / utility heroes.
And Prophet's one of those, like, you can just keep a lane pushed up at all times, and it really, really bothers the team when they go to a fight and they know if they lose this fight, Prophet can be all over the lane that's being pushed out, can be all over that in a moment's notice and just bust down a Rax if they're not watching. We've seen Na'Vi do that so many times with their Prophet, so damn good. So I really like the Prophet pick, although at the same time he is a little weak during the early game. This could be an issue. We've seen other teams like Orange take advantage of an early game Prophet and just completely mess with his lane. And just know that, well, Prophet just cannot do a damn thing if they're all bunched up. The Prophet's good for picking off stragglers and stuff during the early game, just assisting in ganks when you outnumber people. But when he tries to defend against stuff, that can be a bit of an issue. When the enemy team is all grouped up, or looking in a really strong position, that can be troublesome. Just because, especially in the early game, every dog and their mother is running around with tangos or a hatchet or something, so they can just cut through his sprout, and it's just completely inconsequential. So it offers very little other than just a bit of auto attack. Earthshaker though being picked up for World Elite. I like this. Another good stun. And I'm kind of expecting... well, it really depends whether they run this Leshrac as a soft support or they grab something else to go with the Earthshaker.
Yeah, we'll see. And I like this Lone Druid ban that Invasion Red done. Honestly, this is a team that every time I see them play, I'm just impressed by how screwed on their heads are. They know what they're doing. They've got a game plan in mind. They know which heroes to ban. They know what kind of heroes to pick. And I mean, banning out Lone Druid against a Chinese team like this, especially when they've got the Invoker, Leshrac, Earthshaker already, Lone Druid would fit in very well there. Give them some more mid-game pushing power, especially if they get that Radiance up nice and quick. And the Broodmother, another nice sort of ban that they can see, maybe going as a side lane solo if they want to play the Leshrac and the Invoker in the mid lane as well as that safe lane. So these bans definitely going to help out Invasion Red, as we'll see the last ban coming from World Elite. This Enchantress ban going to mean Invasion Red can't maybe put on as much pressure as they would have liked, but there are plenty of options left for them. Maybe going to see some kind of semi-carry here like the Mirana, but I think picking up a hard carry could be a mistake, although unless we see something like a Morphling. I don't think Antimage would work that well, but Morphling is definitely a hero we can see either of these teams picking up.
I just noticed the teams have hopped around sides again. I had them set up and then they changed sides. It's really never mind. Slardar though getting banned. I find this very interesting. I mean, we've seen the Chinese teams pick him up, and they're mostly the teams that we see grab this Slardar. Everybody else seems to ignore him. They seem to overlook him. And honestly, like we said last game, neither of us really like Slardar that much, but World Elite seem to be on board. Or maybe this is because they play against DK a lot, I guess, and DK have been running a fair bit of Slardar solo mid, or dual lane mid, so I guess maybe that's why they're a little bit worried about him. Or I don't know if we've missed some Invasion Red games where they busted out a huge Slardar that they're worried about.
Yeah, I don't know, man. We've seen a lot of Slardar by these Chinese teams. I mean, we've seen DK run as a solo mid. We saw in a dual lane mid a fair bit as well. It seems teams just don't want to put Slardar in that safe lane. They'd rather give their sort of ranged sort of nuking heroes that safe lane. We saw Clinks in the safe lane. We've seen a lot of Queen of Pains played in the safe lane. As right now, Invasion Red have their fourth pick coming up. I don't know, man. What are you expecting with this?
Oh, well, I'm kind of expecting Prophet to take one of the solo side lanes. Queen of Pain,
yep.
Well, then again, like you said, we're seeing Queen of Pain in the safe lane, but then again, I kind of like it when she's in the middle, though. No, actually, I take that back, just because as of late, we've seen the Queen of Pains tend to wait for their level 8 before they get their ult, so she's not really getting that mobile, that gank happy, so we could do with a different solo mid, but then again, they picked up the Crystal Maiden, so there's their second, there's their primary support. Shadow Demon probably going to be taken as a secondary support, the soft support. He does well with a little bit of farm, a little bit of levels. That's why we'll actually sometimes even see the solo mid Shadow Demon. Really good harass there, but I'm kind of expecting another solo hero, if not some kind of hard carry. I don't think we'll see a hard carry. Maybe something could get sort of nuke happy early, but at the same time, I really think we'll see some other solo hero here. Maybe something like a Rasta getting busted out. Take that solo mid, and then have the Queen of Pain in the safe lane. Throw the Fury on under a bust, put him in the hard lane, and then just have him teleport and help out with the ganks, help out with the surprise pushes, stuff like that.
Yeah, we'll see what they want to do. This Pugna pick is definitely a common pick from some of these Chinese teams, and we'll see how they want to use this. It is going to give them a strong mid game. If they can get up that fast mech on the Pugna, we've seen Pugnas going for both the mech, the pipe, just really taking up, getting all those utility items. That means Leshrac can just rush that Bloodstone if he wants, get a BKB a bit later on, and Invoker doesn't have to worry too much about those items. He can look for that early 4-star, maybe the Drum of Endurance. And it looks like ES may be the main support here. We've seen a lot of ES. The Chinese, when they play Earthshaker, they don't even have that Blink Dagger in mind at all. It's all about just being in position to get those really well-placed fissures off. Ooh. And here we are, the hard carry, the anti-mage. What are WE World Elite going to do in response? Are they going to pick up a hard carry of their own with a Morphling, or just maybe look to push this down in the mid-game, as we'll see what they want to do in just a second here. And I mean, this is Invasion Red. They're putting all their tangos on this anti-mage, I feel.
Yeah, because I mean, Queen of Pain, again, another hero that doesn't want to get that. I mean, this is a classic example of like weak lanes early game. Sorry, a weak lane early game. Just because if you're on, again, just as we said before, doesn't have very much presence early on. Queen of Pain wants to get those levels up and running. She doesn't want to be running around like level 4 trying to hold off early pushes. Then again, they don't have that Enchantress or Chen to help push, but they've got Leshrac, they've got the Pugna. I just feel like they could really abuse a weak lane with this kind of setup. This does bother me, especially since, Anti-Mage is not going to, and his supports, like, he's going to want his friends there to help him out. He's not going to want them buggering off to have to support another lane. Unless they're planning to run a double mid or something. I don't know. We'll see. But this does bother me a little bit that we've got a couple of weak early starters. This could be a bit of a problem from Invasion Red if there is a lot of pressure. I mean, there are two heroes that, if anybody's going to put on a lot of pressure early, it'll be something like the Shrek, and he's going to be given farm this game, I think, just because the Venomancer has been picked up, and he'll be taking probably the soft support role just because he does. You can put an early pipe on him. He can grab that early. He's a normal suspect for an early pipe, and in a push lineup, that's something they can use, especially when they've got something like Queen of Pain up against them.
Yeah, I think definitely the Venomancer as the main support here does work out well. It is one of those heroes that doesn't need a huge amount of farm. Just getting the max Plague Wards, he can be so effective. And that means Earthshaker can try and get up those Arcane boots. But we've also, I think a few of the teams, they'll play the Venomancer as a hard support for the first 5 or 6 minutes. But then once their solo heroes, the Invoker, the Pugna, get their levels and farm, they'll just leave Venomancer a lane to himself to just push out, spam the Plague Wards in, while the other 4 heroes will go looking for towers, looking for pushes, and Venomancer will just be doing a bit of his own thing. So we'll see how they want to do this. Invasion Red, most likely I would say Prophet going to be that side lane solo, go into the suicide lane at top and just try and use those streams to pull the wave back to his tower as Anti-Mage heading bottom, probably with support, unless they want to run a dual lane Anti-Mage mid, which we have seen a few teams do though.
Well, Wild Elite immediately smoking up and heading towards the enemy jungle, but I've got to say, yeah, I mean, it would not surprise me if they give the Venomancer some farm. It looks like they want to get, oh wow, it looks like they might charge in there, try and pick someone off. A couple of pings here and there, but yeah, it is something, if you're going for that mid-game push, you do need your supports to have some farm. You don't want someone, like, you don't want to have this really obvious weak link that's easy to pick off. Having some farm on each of the supports, just so that, I mean, even if it's something as cheap as just getting a couple of braces, they don't want to be running around with nothing but boots and maybe a couple of wards on them. So it would not surprise me if Venomancer does get given some farm. He gets given a free lane at some point in about the 10, 15 minute mark. Gets given a little bit of free farm, just so he can get some items up and running, even just to tank him up a little bit, or if they can, I mean, if they can get that pipe on him, that would be fantastic, but I don't know if he'll get that much farm. Depends how much they devote to Earthshaker, really, as Queen of Pain struggling just a bit there.
Yeah, do a quick reconnect coming out. This could be trouble for Invasion Red at bottom. They are going right into a 5-man World Elite potential big clash going on here, as they have all smoked up and they are looking for blood. Invasion Red have 5 going bottom themselves, but definitely have the weaker team fight. Anti-Mage has gone for the early blink, though. He's actually blinked way right ahead, so really keen to get out there as fast as possible, maybe prevent them from getting that ward down to block that creep fall.
As Pavel asked, Asians started to play push. They have been doing that for a while. They have been doing that for a while. Just people have been, it's one of those things, you know, people just sort of have, I would say the pub mentality is like miles behind of where the actual metagame or actually comp games are. People are like, you know, oh, that Chinese, all they do is farm all day. No, it's not the case. They definitely push hard. More games we've casted have been hyper aggressive games from the Chinese teams. They have not been that conservative, not been super turtly. As I think, who's that there? Oh, it's just the spectators talking. Yeah, Anti-Mage blinking out straight away, and definitely with the Queen, Queen of Pain actually hasn't leveled yet, but yeah, with the Anti-Mage with nothing but blink, with the Furion who's next to worthless during a level 1 engagement, World Elite definitely have the much stronger engagement. Well, then again, I mean, we've got stuff like Invoker, again, also useless during an early engagement as well, I suppose.
I think the deciding factor is both the ES and the Venomancer. That fissure in these level 1 engagements, and the Venomous Scale is great. As soon as you get hit by a Venomous Scale, you cannot run. You have to pretty much just stand your ground and fight unless you have the stuns to back it up. But right now, the Radiant team don't have many disables. They've got a CM who has actually gone for the Frostbite. They have got the Disruption. So whoever gets focused, Shadow Demon is likely to use the Disruption on. This is one of those scenarios where the Disruption needs to be used defensively rather than offensively, because this World Elite team have a lot more killing potential.
Definitely. Actually, now you bring it up, yeah, Invasion Red, they're a little stun light at the moment. They've got the Frostbite, which isn't even a proper stun, really. They've got the Frostbite, they've got the Banish, which again does not quite the same thing, just because you can't really hit the hero at the same time, I don't think. But yeah, a little stun light, whereas the Dire team, you know, they've got a couple of good stuns. They've got the Fissure, they've got the Split Earth, and they've even, you know, they've got a couple of disables there from the Invoker as well, but not just yet. A little bit later they'll have that up and running. Cold Snap, of course, absolutely fantastic, particularly during the early laning phase. But I mean, this could be a bit of an issue. I mean, they're not going to be able to isolate Invasion Red. They're not going to be able to isolate and target fire as easily, especially when you've got a hero like Leshrac in these mid-game team fights, where you need to pick him off and take him out really quickly. I think this could be an issue for Invasion Red, definitely.
Yeah, no, we'll see how inv-red want to do this. I mean, this may be a game where anti-mage does not even try rush the battlefield. He's got a stout shield early on. It doesn't really mean too much. He can easily go for a battlefield, even with the stout shield. He can turn it into that poor man's shield or just decide to have a stout shield that's just sitting there. The damage block alone is very nice. And if he has a nice lane, he could go for that quick battle period. But I think he is going to be seeing a lot of pressure, maybe even World Elite running a tri-lane bottom with something like Pugna or Leshrac soloing the top lane. As here we go, the unpause is there. And another thing, I'm wondering if Anti-Mage is going to be going for the build we've seen a lot of these Chinese players doing with all the stat points.
I mean, it's possible, but I kind of don't think so. As Anti-Mage now spots up this incoming game. Will just blink away, though. Doesn't quite get chains done. Leshrac a little bit too slow to get into position. Couldn't quite manage to pick him off there. Had they landed that, probably still wouldn't have killed him, but would have done a ton of damage.
30 seconds.
Prophet's has gone straight up to the top lane. Didn't bother coming down the bottom with his teammates. And so we'll be seeing the anti-mage trial. Obviously, his team... I mean, this is going to be... Well, it really depends where the Dire trial is going. Are they going to run an offensive one? I mean, they've got... They could do it. They've got the heroes for it, I think. In fact,
yeah,
it looks like they will.
Yes, Venomancer, Leshrac seem to all be going bottom. Normally you just see the Chinese teams running dual lane, but they're going to run a trial lane simply because they know this anti-mage have a trial lane of his own. And we are going to see maybe a bit of a battle for this bottom lane. Anti-Mage is there, not going to blink in, obviously. That would be almost certain death. And I mean, they've wasted a fissure. That means ES will have slightly less mana going to the laning phase. And in the end, Anti-Mage not taking too much damage. They're forced to drop a Tango, though. So this is going to be a hard lane up against a lot of harass here. The Venomancer Leshrac going to be looking to punish him whenever he goes in for any last hit.
Definitely, definitely. And I think they've spotted... Well, I remember they're saying we need a ward up in there. Venomancer now moving in. He's only got one ward left though. The banish goes down, going to annoy him just a bit. Yeah, chased off now by his own illusions. Meanwhile, it's going to be Pugna up top versus the Furion. Honestly, I think Pugna's probably going to have a bit of advantage just because he's got that huge Nether Blast nuke. Oh, actually, no, sorry, that's not Pugna. Pugna is in the mid. I take that back. That's Invoker up the top. And I'm going to say Invoker definitely going to be able to win that lane comfortably. I think Furion is going to need to sort of teleport around and just get active. Invoker, though, might be going for the Exhort. He hasn't started off. Often we see, oh, with a possible engagement down the bottom. The Banish goes down. I think that was a defensive Banish there. It was on the Crystal Man. She goes down anyway, gets hit by that Split Earth and gets set up as we see Venomancer back up. But Invoker, normally we see the Invoker, if they're going for the Quay Swex build, they will normally start off with a Blaze of Attack. But he has gone for stat items, which to me says probably going to pick up Exhort at some point early on.
Yeah, we'll see what he wants to do. Leshrac gets another kill at bottom lane. The anti-mage's looking for a bit of a revenge kill here. Needs a couple more right clicks. Will have a blink up soon, but needs at least 2 more. And there's a fissure. That's going to be Leshrac popping a Sal, popping a Tango. He's going to survive. And Anti-Mage just trying to get off as much of the mana break as he can to sort of prevent those heroes from any more aggression. Both ES and Leshrac getting nice and low mana, but getting the 2 kills easily worth it. As right now, bottom lane, inv-red off to a pretty bad start.
And we see, there we go, there is that laning power from the Cold Snap, just harassing the crap out of Furion, making him back up, doing a lot of damage to him there. And Invoker is just going to be difficult, so Furion, all he's got in this lane is his auto attack, and Invoker, with his Quace, is just going to heal it back so damn quickly. It's going to be very frustrating for him to do anything. I see the port come into mid. That is Furion trying to get in behind the Pugna. Pugna's actually been really badly damaged. Trying to bottle up now. Gets his bottle knocked off by the proc there from Queen of Pain's Shadow Strike. He's going to find himself a haste room, though. It's going to be definitely really good for him. As Furion goes down past the bottom room, doesn't manage to find anything, though. Incoming 5 clarities for Earthshaker. He really wants to harass this anti-mage.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to be constant spam coming out. I mean, he used up all his clarities, just brings constantly more. And, I mean, it's one of those things where the Arcane Boots take too long to farm. While you're trying to get the Arcane Boots up, you're not being very aggressive because you don't have the mana to use fissures. You're just saving up gold more than anything. So getting these clarities means a lot more aggression can come out, and we're going to see them then looking for those support heroes. The Crystal Maiden, the Shadow Demon in the jungle, forced to just play so defensive. They're going to have to give up this neutral pull here as ES does get a couple last hits. Anti-Mage only up to 6 creep kills so far, but they are going to go into ES over here. There's one fissure going in. The disruption on the Leshrac, and they're going to have to back off here. Venomous Gale on the Shadow Demon. Leshrac going to change target. Here comes the Prophet TP in. They seem to be missing a few of these disables here as Leshrac forced to run as the Edict doing so much damage. But Leshrac will go down. Prophet going to get that kill. Prophet needs to get out of here. He needs to avoid this Venomancer. Venomancer blink in from Anti-Mage. 2 kills going in inv-red's favor, and there's that TP gank we were talking about coming from that Prophet.
Yeah, managed to outnumber him there. We've got the Banish going down on. It looks like they're going to manage to take out the Earthshaker as well. This is not looking too hot for World Elite. definitely not looking too good. Buron popping in, just managed to get a couple of auto attacks. There was enough of them in the end to set up that kill. As Pugner hasn't managed to pick... Oh, wait, no, he's got his ball. I think he's crowing it. Yeah, it's crowing back and forth now, just bringing it back out. Meanwhile, though, Invoker is... And he is not going for Exhort. He's going Quace Flex, so we will be seeing the big AoE combos, the big tornadoes, big EMPs coming out from this Invoker during this mid-game battle. But at the moment, all he's got is the Cold, which is all he needs for the landing phase. It's 1v1. It's probably the best spell he could have in this situation.
Yeah, I think the Quas Wex is going to help out his team a lot in the mid-game. I mean, I think these Chinese teams, they sort of stay away from the Exhort Quas build where you go for the Sunstrike because they prefer to play a more team-oriented game rather than going for those kills and ganks across the map. They're often sticking together, going for those mid-game pushes where, I mean, you can maybe justify getting the forward spirits, but in general, the Sunstrike or the Cold Snap not... Oh, the Cold Snap is going to be prioritized, but the Sunstrike and the Exhort build not really that preferred. Just going to be rushing the phase boots, trying to get that drum of endurance, maybe a 4-stuff up.
Though he's not rushing the... normally we see the Blade of Attack straight up just because it does do exactly that, help them rush those phase boots. In this case, you know, he's happy to chill, take his time. Banish going to come down. They're going to go for... Whoa, they're going to go for Pugner. Going to trap it in there with the... Oh no, he pops his own illusions. They're going to try to hold. Gets banished. So Queen of Pain now moving. Pops the screen. Mass nukes on Pugner. Pugner goes down. Well, Queen of Pain, no she won't. She will get away there. As now Furion tanking some damage there from the tower. Crystal Maiden also coming mid. And there is no currently... Is there any pressure? Where is the Anti-Mage? I've lost track of the Anti-Mage.
He's gone top, so he's gone up to versus the Invoker, and he's in a bit of struggle time right now. He's sitting on 300 gold, has a Magic Wand, Stout Shield, and a Tango. Against Invoker, I mean, he might even have to just get a poor man's shield here. But at the same time, he wants that Ring of Health, either for the Vanguard or the Battle Free. Wherever he wants to go, he needs some HP reading. He's got another TP coming out, but there's just no lane that's going to be easy for him to farm, as his supports may have to rotate top as well.
Yeah, it's Leshrac now has done a lot of damage to this tower, in fact. It's down to about 170 health. It's going to disappear pretty quickly. Has he got Edict up? He's got Edict up in like 3 seconds, so he's going to get rid of that really, really easily. And down goes the tower, and he might even rotate and try and cause some trouble elsewhere. And I think Anti-Mage is going to struggle in this top lane just because Invoker can just drop that Cold Snap on him and just really mess him up something harsh. On that, if now he's blind too. There is no wards up at the moment. Can't really see what's going on. Whether or not someone is coming up to gank him, really going to be quite scary for him.
But Queen of Pain at mid is doing really well. Has 30 creep kills, 15 denies. Ohio, the Invasion Red solo player, is beating this Pugner fairly convincingly, and he's going to be the one who has to get very involved, making sure Anti-Mage has room to farm. If Queen of Pain can get some ganks rolling, or either back up the Anti-Mage or put pressure elsewhere, draw attention away from the Anti-Mage, this could be good, as there's a Sprout on mid. Pugner in trouble. Queen of Pain, once his kill, does have an ultimate, going to use it. Another kill going into his hands, as he's going to look to keep on getting his farm up at mid.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to cause some pressure, make the attention get off the Anti-Mage, if at all possible. Crystal Maiden going to go down, gets cleaned up there by the Invoker. Anti-Mage now trying to take out. Looks like he might get it. No. Decides to back up as he sees support coming in. Leshrac, is this an item came out for somebody? Leshrac has his arcanes. Invoker has got his phase boots now. Oh boy, he's hitting pretty damn hard. Pink now porting up top. Pugner going to come up to the top lane. Going to try and help out just a bit. Might even try and counter push down. I mean, they could if they can take this. I mean, they've got the 2 good pushes here. They've got the Pugner with this Nether Blast. They've also got the Edict there from Leshrac. This is going to work really well. I think they don't quite have the attrition with the heals. They're not packing any. In fact, nobody's got an Urn up and running yet. But I think if nobody rotates up here to stop this, I mean, if all they're going to have come up here is the Anti-Mage to try and hold things off, they're going to get this tower really, really easily. In fact, Queen of Pain's coming, Crystal Main's coming as well. They're going to try and hold in this tower. I don't think it's going to happen though. It's just taking way too much damage from the Edict.
Yeah. And that's the problem with this World Elite lineup, is they've got so much pushing power. Invasion Red, I mean, they're doing okay in their lanes. They're farming up all right. They're up 5 kills to 3, but World Elite with the Leshrac, with the Pugner, once they get up some core items, they can just take towers at will before Anti-Mage can even think of getting involved. As I think Anti-Mage at this stage has to just get that Vanguard up, look for some Vanguard treads, maybe even a Vlads, just so we can get involved early. Queen of Pain at top, gets chain stun, taken out. Great play from World Elite.
Now, the other thing is, Furion, again, he's on level 5, just doesn't have that much value right now. He really can't push up just because he's worried about getting jumped, so he can't really push a lane up that far. They're kind of blind, they've got no wards. In fact, I'm not even sure if they counter-warded all that stuff. No, I can't see anything on anyone at the moment. Pugner finding himself DD Rune. Leshrac has picked up a point booster. He's actually looks like he's going to get that Bloodstone up and running. I mean, it could be an argument, so I kind of doubt it. I'm really thinking that Point Boost is going to get turned into a Bloodstone ASAP. Meanwhile, Anti-Mage, it's 8.5 minutes in, and he only has 23 CS. Has he died yet? No, he's got one kill,
but he has
two
not
assists.
farmed. And he's been constantly buying tangos, buying TP scrolls, TP top, TP back bottom. He's just been he's been farming, but he's been using a lot of that gold on items that won't really get him all that farm. Top lane, Prophet goes for a little TP gank on Invoker, but there's no disables yet left. They've already used the Frostbite, and that's an easy escape there for the Invoker, who is now getting up the Drum of Endurance very, very soon.
See the push here on mid, doing a lot of damage to this tower with the Edict. Pugna probably just going to spam that Nether Blast. He's going to keep chipping away at that tower. Crystal Maiden moves down, kind of ballsy, gets hit by the Venomous Scout. If they follow up, although there goes a Fury on Nature's Wrath. Queen of Pain blinks in, gets stuck behind the fissure, and Pathing sends her all the way back. That's one thing I hate still. Pathing is driving me absolutely nuts in this game.
So I mean, right now, Invasion Red, they're definitely getting a bit further behind. I mean, they're losing tower after tower. You can see World Elite just chipping away at that tier 2 tower, and there's nothing really getting unleashed in return from Invasion Red. But the Crystal Maiden and the Shadow Demon, neither of those support heroes can offer much firepower for these pushes. Maybe Crystal Maiden can max out the Crystal Nova, but even now, 2 points in Frostbite and only level 4. So they don't really have much AoE apart from the Queen of Pain. They've got a Prophet ultimate, but the long cooldown on that means all they've really got to defend is the Queen of Pain AoE, and even that, they doesn't really offer them any disables. Whereas World Elite had the ES Fissure, the left track stun. They've got 2 AoE stuns with AoE from the Invoker Pugna. They've just got such better mid-game firepower.
And I would say also this ward is really going to suck for Invasion Red during this mid-game. It is really going to frustrate, especially since they're all relatively, like most of them are relatively spell-reliant. Just continually harassing them left, right, and center. Trying to try and drop the spell, getting smacked in the face by it. So it's going to hurt, especially Queen of Pain. She's really, really mana greedy. That's going to cane her. She's going to need to get up some health boosters for sure, because otherwise she's going to blink in, try and drop her spells, and then get obliterated by that ward. It's going to suck. I'm going to say that right now. Pugna, though, 1,200 gold saved up. Do you think he'll go for the fast mech?
Yeah, definitely. Unless someone else is going to be getting it, like the Venomancer, I'd say it's almost certainly going to be that mech. As we will see what they want to go on which hero. Yes, will be getting, Invoker will be getting the drums. Possibly Pike up on either Venomancer or the Pugna, as right now Invasion Red will look to want to push a bit themselves. They've got all 5 at mid. The Plague Ward Wall is there. There's the EMP with the Fissure. Crystal Maiden in so much trouble, will go down. And now Prophet gets stunned by Leshrac. Great placement there. The Edict going as well. Queen of Pain drops a scream. There's a Tornado from Invoker as Prophet goes down. Shadow Demon trying to slow them down with the disruption, and things not looking too good for Invasion Red here. Top lane as well. Pugna just getting some solo farm, getting some levels as World Elite want to increase their lead further and further.
And you know, for all those people out there, oh, that's silly, these Chinese teams, all they do is farm. Well, it's 6 for 6, and it's not. We've had more than a kill a minute right now. And World Elite, like, they're getting really, they've taken 3 towers already. They're getting aggressive. This is not, this is not your stereotypical Chinese sit back and turtle for an hour-long game with their anti-mage. In fact, anti-mage now being played by the Invasion Red guys, and not doing. It's not going as well as they'd like, and this is just what's so good about this push metagame is just they'll get up so much extra mana. In fact, they're going to try and take this 4th tower, 2nd tier mid tower. We've got the EMP going down. The Sonic Wave, though, gets hit by the Whirlwind. The Scream out from Queen of Pain. She's very low. Mana Void, though, going to finish off the ES. They've lost 3 heroes. Leshrac is down as well, along with Venomancer. Queen of Pain goes down to the Invoker. Invoker, though, very low. Will get cleaned up there by Trance. In fact, no, Shadow Demon there, getting the final hit. And that was not a good push. That was not a great engagement there. For World Elite, possibly a little bit too eager, and I mean they just got spotted up and got taken out. Unfortunately, I think
really
that
nice
Mana Void
counterattack. And yeah, that Mana Void and that counterattack just completely caught World Elite by surprise. And they're going to see a Soul Booster into a Bloodstone on the left track. I think the problem is now World Elite know they're ahead. They're getting tower after tower, and they want to just keep on pushing, keep on taking towers, but without their mech up, without I mean, maybe not the pipe needed, but the mech definitely is going to be needed when they want to push on in. Pugna's still a couple hundred gold away from that, so they need to be patient. They need to just keep on slowly increasing their lead rather than looking to go all out, say, okay, we're ahead, let's just go push on in, we can get this tier 2 tower, we can easily take them on in the fight. And right there, Invasion Red showing they've still got a lot of fight left in them.
Yeah, I mean, this early game's all about nukes. If you land some good nukes, it'll finish up. In this case, Queen of Pain landed some good nukes. I totally agree. This is about the point in the game where, where Venomancer should go, okay, it's time for me to get an item. I need to go and farm. Earthshaker should make sure he gets a little bit bulky. He has picked up one bracer. Could do with those Arcane Boots as well, because, I mean, they don't have the Arcane Boots. They've got one. They could honestly use a second one as well. If they don't have these Arcane Boots, they won't be pushing very long. The stun down the Banish, so a great defensive Banish. Going to keep Queen of Pain alive. Blinks out. And she will walk away, and I really agree. In World Elite, they need to just cool their jets, slow down, and get those items. They need to get the mech up. In fact, they've got enough of the mech right now. Need to get that mech shipped out, and need what they really could do with a pipe of Venomancer. So right now would be a great time, or rather about 2 minutes ago, before they got themselves raped in mid, and kept, I mean, they've lost 2k on their lead in gold. That's
and you can see the power. You can see the power of the Shadow Demon pick. Those defensive disruptions, what would normally be an easy kill, even on a hero with Blink like Queen of Pain, they can just chain stun it. But the disruption completely denies any chain stun.
Yeah, and yeah, like 2 minutes ago would have been the perfect time just to cool down and go, all right, let's get an item on Venomancer. Let's get that Piper, at least the Hooded Defiance up. Let's just get Venomancer a little bulky, make sure he doesn't get picked off quickly. Let's get, and let's finish up some like the Solar Booster for Leshrac. Let's make sure he's got a lot of health. Let's make sure he's got some regen kind of thing. And then go, we've already got that lead, and let's come back once we're ready and then take down those towers. Would have been a much smarter play, because there's no reason, like you said, for them to keep going all out and risking it. And it's definitely something that's definitely not stereotypical of Chinese teams. It's being risky. They're generally a very, very safe, methodical team.
Yeah. And we'll see how they want to play this. I mean, they have, late in the game, I mean, even if Anti-Mage gets ridiculously farmed, they can still stun him down. They've got the Cold Snap. They've got the ES disables the Leshrac as well. I mean, they've got the nice lockdown. Even though they don't have a massive amount of right-click damage, their late-game potential is not that... I mean, on paper, it doesn't look that good. They don't have any hard carries, but against the Radiant team, they've definitely got the better team fight. But right now, Invasion Red doing a great job of trading towers. They're going to get this Tier 2 top tower, while World Elite get what was pretty much definitely going to go down sooner or later, that Tier 2 mid tower. And here comes the fight at top. They want to prevent Invasion Red from this counter push.
Or at least just get the 9. Pugna's going to try and get it. Venomancer as well. Do they get it? The tower was destroyed by the Radiant. That is upsetting 4 heroes, and nobody managed to get that deny in. Got cleaned up by Creep. I think it got cleaned up by... No, it wasn't Trance. It was just the regular old Creep there. But yeah, definitely, they didn't want that to happen. They want to stay ahead. And it's coming closer and closer. They do not want to be going into this mid-game with either a neutral gold lead, or with either a neutral gold score, or even a deficit. They really want to be going to the mid-game strong and then just snowball out of control from there. And Anti-Mage now going to try and take this bottom tower. Fury on pointing bottom to help him out. There are 3 heroes. There's Smoke incoming. Whirlwind goes through. The Cyclone goes through. And there's the Cold Snap. Going to get pinned down by Mass Stun. Will he blink away? Gets teched up. Mech'd up and escapes. This is the power of that early mech. So damn good. Fury on picking that up at some point. Crystal Maiden also bulking up a bit. Grabs herself a bracer. Also has a magic wand up and running.
Yeah, as we'll see what they want to get up next. It looks like Queen of Pain is building towards a BKB. Queen of Pain just wanting to tank up. These chain disables, the Pugnal, the Netherward is just causing a lot of problems for the Queen of Pain. As you mentioned, if they can't take it out, it's going to mean Queen of Pain cannot really go in. But with a BKB, Queen of Pain, suddenly a lot of those problems can be fixed, as Queen of Pain with Strength Treads, I mean, it's just going for pretty much a survivability build. Just knows, needs to get those nukes off, create some room for Anti-Mage, and just tanking up will manage to do that. But bottom lane, World Elite want to engage.
It's possible. I think I heard another Cold...
The Cold Snap went on a creep, missing the Anti-Mage, so that's one way not to. As Pugna caught in no man's land, the Venomancer is there as well, but this Pugna is going to go down. Anti-Mage will not get the last hit, goes to the Nature's Prophet, and now Anti-Mage blinking away. The rest of World Elite looking to come in, and Queen of Pain tornadoed up, trying to catch up with this Venomancer. He gets chain stun. Ohio goes down. Ooh, bit of a silly play from him, as World Elite may even look to take Roshan here. No, they're just going to swing back mid.
Fair enough then. Just looking at the Silent Towers, both are relatively healthy. They might try and make a play on bottom, although they want some wards up before they do that, just because it will be a little bit risky. A lot of options to gank them from the side or even from behind if they're not careful. Invoker's currently up to 55 and 18. He's behind a little bit, has been ganking a bit. I've got to say though, Invasion Red are now ahead on the gold chart. This is about the last thing World Elite wanted to happen. This is looking a little bit dodgy for them, and these these engagements that they've been forcing that they really shouldn't have been, I think are going to come back to haunt them.
Yeah, no, it's something that they do have to worry about. But Anti-Mage, I mean, at the moment, he's getting the farm up. He's finished his Yasha, in fact. So he's going to be looking to get that Manta Cell up as quickly as possible. And from there, he just needs to keep on tanking up. Could even just go straight for the BKB. maybe get the Vlads along the way. The Vlads is such a nice item on Anti-Mage. It just gives everything he needs in terms of survivability, the lifesteal, the armor, the damage. I mean, it's a really neat little item and just helps him blink around from neutral camp to farmers. Bottom lane, once again, they're sort of looking to pressure the Anti-Mage, but it looks like not actually committing the Invoker as Anti-Mage actually blinking, getting himself stuck in some trees here. Will continue to blink his way out and maybe go farm some neutrals.
That would be my best. Yeah, there I see he's at the pool camp now, just grabbing them up. Pugner also having the same plan, farming the neutrals, just nuking them down because he can. Queen of Pain, yeah, there we go. Early BKB on the way. She's only about 1,000 gold away from that BKB, and it really will help her out. Otherwise, she's just going to get wrecked during the fights by that Pugner ward. It's going to completely and utterly destroy her. So I agree with that early buy on the BKB. She definitely is a hero that needs it in this situation. There's Invoker. What's he on? 18. Oh, that's not Invoker. Invoker now 66. He's going for that 4-star. I think it's a smart choice just because he needs some ability to keep himself alive. ES relatively low health. No items. What is Nature's Prophet? Nature's Prophet appears to be building the Arcanum Scepter, which is going to help them keep the lanes pushed out, I think. Which is about all they want. Like, they just want to keep the lanes pushed out and make sure they buy time for Anti-Mage to farm.
Yeah, they do, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it will be taking a lot of Anti-Mage farm as well. I mean, it limits where he can farm. But I think at the same time, Anti-Mage is a great hero because there's always somewhere to farm. You can blink from neutral camp to neutral camp. You can blink and push up lanes, be very aggressive. So it's not going to hurt him too much, but definitely it will limit the places where he can farm safely. Maybe there'll be fewer safe locations. He will let go. They want to initiate on the Anti-Mage, but right now, Shadow Demon and Crystal Maiden are there, but this is not a fight where Invasion Red have the numbers in their advantage. 4v3, Shadow Demon going to get caught out here, Crystal Maiden maybe as well. It looks like Shadow Demon is maybe just going to die, and Crystal Maiden, no, they go in. Anti-Mage is looking for a kill here. This is probably not a good fight that they want to take Crystal Maiden in trouble. There goes the Mana Void as Pugner needs to get out, but yes, ultimate. They're trying to lock down Anti-Mage, not going to manage to do it. He does blink down river, and he will manage to get away, but actually Crystal Maiden actually survived that one. Oh yeah, TP out.
Fair enough then. I'm not dead sure how the Shadow Demon got picked off as it was. Nature's Prophet though, teleporting to his Ancients and then immediately getting beaten up by them. It's just going to farm that though, it shouldn't be too hard. I'm just going to get Anti-Mage to help him out, or is he actually back going to donate those to Anti-Mage? No, he's going to take them. Never mind.
Whether or not that was intentional, who knows. But yeah, I mean at the moment it's a bit of a stalemate between the two teams. World Elite don't want to commit too much, but that's always going to be concerned when they don't have the late game potential of a hero like Anti-Mage. Venomancer's actually picked up a Vitality booster, so just looking to boost up his raw HP, not going for that pipe. At this point, I mean, the Queen of Pain's the only hero that they really need that pipe for, so they might not even go for it, but World Elite, I feel like they're just not putting on much pressure, and they're not even accomplishing much. I mean, you can see, it's not like they're out farming their opponents. They're actually behind by about 1k gold now. ES, not many items, not anywhere near his blink, and against a hero like Anti-Mage, you do not want to be behind.
Definitely not. Leshrac, though, does have his Bloodstone. This is definitely going to help him out quite a bit, just makes him really tanky. It means he can now start spamming the hell out of the Pulse Nova, and he has actually kept the Arcane Boots. This is something we see every now and then. They break down the Arcane Boots and then use the energy booster from that in the Soul Booster, and then go from there into the Bloodstone. So it's effective, it works, but at the same time, if you can hang on to if you're doing well enough to hang on to the Arcane Boots, I think it's definitely better. As well as the fact that it's the only Arcane Boots, I think, so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they need it. They really do need that if they're planning to push. Although at the moment, they're being a little bit defensive. Maybe this is because they got ganked a few times, so now they're going, don't really want to step out, feeling a little defensive. Let's just go with what we know, which is being, a little bit safer. Make sure we don't get caught out. But I think they need at this point to make some big plays, like some big risky plays, just because the Anti-Mage is going to be out of control pretty soon. He's almost got a Manta up and running.
Yeah, and the problem is the late game, it's Prophet as well. It's going to get nice and big, can also just be a nuisance, counter pushing lanes, and it's going to be really hard for World Elite to find openings where they can actually push when they're up against a hero like Prophet. So we'll see how they want to deal with it, but definitely there is going to be some concerns for them right now where they don't have the best late game. They've got heroes, I mean, they can kite around the Anti-Mages. They've got an Invoker who has a 4-star. We can maybe even see a 4-star coming up on Pugner now that he's finished his mech, but still. I mean, they've got G-Crop as well, but still, it's just one of those things where Anti-Mage, even if he can't kill heroes, he can just push down fast and just not die. The more he gets farmed, the more he tanks up.
I think we saw a few games like that where Prophet and Anti-Mage were definitely stalling the hell out of games during the Open Qualifiers, actually, I believe it was for this tournament. It was completely and utterly nuts how badly they were slowing the game down, just with really defensive tactics. Now Anti-Mage blinking on top of the Urshank, doing a lot of damage and draining a lot of mana. He did, in fact, go for the Mana Break build. In fact, he's just going to gun for it. Drops the mana void. Will take out that kill. It is a level 2 mana void. Did a lot of damage. But then again, ES, he's only got, well, he's got no Arcane Boot, so his base mana is actually pretty poor. So it's not going to do a whole lot anyway. That's yellow up in the top lane. Oh, that Furion probably going to take out. Traps himself inside the Sprout with Leshrac. About the last thing he wanted to do there was just trying to isolate himself. Sadly, getting taken out.
But meanwhile, his team at bottom are managing to put some pressure on here, and Prophet actually buying back for this push. They're going to maybe look to get something going their way. World Elite are trying to defend this, but I don't think they can. Their heroes are not in position yet. They might be able to get in there soon, but already the tower getting very low. The Prophet is going to be back. Prophet's actually TP'd towards Roshan, trying to get his team to go there, but at the moment, the entire World Elite team have grouped up at bottom. They've got 4 heroes. The 5th hero, the Earthshaker, is coming back in now, and that's going to force Antimate to get the hell out. He's going to go top, which is completely safe now with World Elite coming in bottom. So really nice play. Invasion Red just moving their opponents around the map. They didn't get the tower, but that doesn't really bother them. They've just created room for Antimates to farm and not taken any losses.
I mean, Antimate's currently sitting on 140 CS, 24 minutes. That's pretty damn good. In fact, I'm just going to check his overall GPM. He's currently sitting on 412. So yeah, he's doing awesome. 412 GPM in about 24 minutes. And that is definitely pretty damn good. So he'll be, well, his team will be happy about that. Obviously, they've sacrificed some farm, some serious farm on their 2 supports. You see Shadow Demon as well as the Chris Main relatively low as the Banish goes down on top of the Leshrac. The Sprout going doesn't catch him. He might walk away from him. Has been slowed quite severely. The Furion up streaking through that fight. EMP goes down. Going to mess up Furion's mana pool. So he's going to check items. A blink in there from the Animage. Doing a lot of damage to Earthshaker. Again taking him out. And another blink in. That's Queen of Pain moving in. Trying to get himself a kill. Gets hit though by the ward. Doing a lot of damage. Didn't pop up.
Queen of Pain BKB. Queen of Pain with BKB just going in there. No fear at all. And the Antimage as well at this point is getting a bit out of control. And, I mean, once again, World Elite find themselves unable to deal with the Antimage. And now the Queen of Pain's becoming a big problem as well. Once Queen of Pain goes in with that BKB, almost guaranteed a kill or 2. Especially with the Antimage there to blink in with her. So it's just, things going from bad to worse, I feel, as now. Almost a 3k gold lead for Invasion Red. This Antimage just finished his Manta Star, has 780 gold on top of that. So we'll see him looking to gun for his next item fairly soon. Maybe the Vlads, or may just look to tank up with either a BKB or a Heart.
I think he'll probably just tank up. I mean, he could get the Vlads on somebody else. Like you said before, you know, you can just put the Vlads on the support, let them carry it, let them help him out like that, and it will let him just go straight for that. Well, he's got the Manta Star. Actually, I suppose he could. He's already got the Mana. He's already got the Vanguard, so he's doing pretty well. He could afford just to go straight for that Vlads, but at the same time, I would kind of like to see a support pick it up instead of him. Because then they won't have to waste one of those slots on that item, as well as that cash. Pugna, though, with that mech, still pushing the bottom line. 1.8k saved up. Checking Furion, 700-ish gold saved up. Still about 2,000 and a bit away from that Argonym's. Oh, I assume he's building Argonym's. He's got a Staff of Wizardry. He's got a point boost as well. That's probably going to be an Argonym's. That's my best guess.
Yeah, he's only 1,200 gold away from that. So it looks, unless he wants to go for something like a 4-star here, but I'd say that's somewhat unlikely. As right now, just as you said, pushing out all those lanes and preventing World Elite from pushing. I mean, World Elite have a sort of mid-game push-oriented lineup. They cannot fight in the late game, at least not all that well. I mean, they can kite the Antimage around a bit with their mobility and with their disables, but they haven't got the late game DPS. So if they can just keep lanes pushed out, spamming this Prophet ultimate a bit, it's going to really limit what World Elite can do. Not to mention, their map control and map points is not all that great when their lanes are just constantly having to be defended.
Yeah, it's definitely quite frustrating. And there we go, Anti-Mage now pushing down that top tower, being left alone with the tower. Has got the illusions, it's been incredibly frustrating. Pugna now is here. I think he's waiting for backups, possible clash in mid. The BKB being popped there by the Queen of Pain. Oh, that was a bit of overkill there. It wasn't 100% necessary. Will just ult down the very low health Venom manages to blink in. Anti-Mage does get hit by, I think that's, by the Banish from Pugna. Just trying to figure out what the hell that was. The Banish from Pugna preventing Anti-Mage from attacking.
Yeah. But I mean, another fight. I mean, World Elite, they only pick up a kill on Venom Mance, and they did use pretty much everything. Queen of Pain ulti. They still the Anti-Mage ultimate, but still, they pick up a kill. They don't actually lose anything. I mean, they did have to commit 5 heroes to it, but it's not like during that time World Elite were farming and getting towers of their own. In fact, Prophet is now at top, out-farming their opponents, so Invasion Red are making better use of their time. They're out-farming their opponents, winning all the ganks and team fights, just slowly chipping away at this World Elite team, kill by kill, creep by creep, and right now, World Elite need to make something happen. They're looking to defend this mid tower. Anti-Mage easily blink out. They can't bring him down. They don't have the damage or the disables at this point, I feel.
This is a good point. This lockdown is not working out for them at all. And they're really badly boxed up. Leshrac already has lost a charge on that Bloodstone, sadly enough for him. To see the pings going off. I think they're looking for the bottom rune. Oh, there it is. It's a haste. Oh boy, they could cause some damage. The anti-mage down, just blinking for the high ground. Still going to do a little bit of counter warding. I don't think those are his wards. I think he's just been donated them by someone else just to do the counter warding with, because he can handle it relatively easily. Just going to farm up there. I see a lot of pings happening, but no action for a lot of pings. Although, there we go. Tornado goes through. Doesn't hit anything. Crystal actually turn around, pops down the Crystal Nova. Frostbite as well, the Invoker. It looks like he'll probably walk away. Queen of Pain blinks in, trying to help out. The fitted on a Sprout Trap. That is some trouble there. Also gets spotted up by the dust. Did he Ghost Walk? He did Ghost Walk. It's not going to help him at all. Gets nuked down to oblivion. I think it's a pretty damn good play there from Invasion Red.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is just a scenario where World Elite are trying to make something happen, but as a result, they're being a bit too aggressive. I mean, they need to be aggressive, but it's one of those things where Invasion Red are just know what's coming, and they are just positioning themselves, picking off heroes one by one. Queen of Pain just has to pop BKB and then decide on a target with the anti-mage, and they'll almost always get that kill, as now this tier 2 middle tower could be the next to go down. And if Invasion Red really want, they can go for that Roshan soon as well.
I kind of expect this tower to go down. I would be surprised if anything other than that happens, just because we've got so many creep beating on it. Sure, they've got a couple of 7 wards, but it's going to help all that much. It's probably going to... I mean, they could rush. I agree, they could definitely rush, but at the same time... Then again, if Furion, I think, just put it into... No, he didn't. Never mind. Too busy being greedy. Way too busy being greedy.
Yeah, Prophet is just keeping that gold per man up. He's just farming some Ancients, has the Accept, has 1k gold on top of that. May just go for some DPS next. I mean, we've seen a lot of Prophets getting the Maelstrom over the last week or two. At least, I think, I mean, I've seen 2 or 3. And whether or not Prophet wants to go for some DPS or maybe just some more sort of team items. Could go for the Scythe of Vice. It's always a good item. But somebody, it's not like there's a die-hard carry hero that needs to be disabled, needs to be locked down. I mean, at this point, it's just out DPS them and just be able to actually survive their nukes. They don't need the disables to deal with any of these heroes. ES, though, now has a Blink Dagger. That could be something that could cause some problems for Invasion Red.
Definitely, I agree there. It really will make them struggle a bit. Although Furion is scouting, I think he's looking for that. Looking for trouble in this woods, although just backs off safely. Meanwhile, Invasion Red, no, they're not going to push up this mid lane. They are just going to be very careful. I think they're going to wait. I think they might be just pulling back, saying, alright, we've got the lead. We've got the lead now. Let's just basically do what you should have done and just pull out for a bit and catch up on your farm, your support farm.
And Antimage has bought another item. It's a BKB, and that is going to mean the headaches for World Elite are going to continue. They're just finding more and more problems to deal with, and they just do not have the answers at this point in the game. Shadow Demon is just such a great defensive hero, and World Elite, whenever they go on someone, whenever they try to focus someone down, Shadow Demon has been constantly there, ready with the disruption, and they just can't kill the hero once they get disrupted. They come out, cause too much confusion, buy enough time for Queen of Pain as well as Antimage to go in, pop their BKBs, do some damage, and Prophet as well, just really putting on so much pressure in all these lanes, teleporting around, using that ultimate. About level 15 only, but when Prophet hits level 16, the pushing power is just going to get even more out of control.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Just looking down here at the bottom lane, Furion, not Furion, he's here, he's just skulking around with Chris Mode, but no, they're going to go for that Rosh. Do they die? No, I don't think they die. Know what's up at the moment. Well, Anti-Mage has got his BKB. He's got some really good defensive items. Doesn't have all that much damage yet. Could do with another damage item. That would really help him out.